Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. So today we've got Paul Williams who will be taking you through the newest eRAMS feature, electronic signatures. At the end of this session, Paul will be answering your questions, so please put these into the chat box. This session is being recorded for you and your colleagues to watch back in your own time. Thank you for joining us and I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Over to you, Paul.
Thanks, Kat. Hi everyone, my name is Paul Williams. I'm the Safety, Health and Environment Service Manager for ECA. So myself and Tony support members with non-electrical health and safety issues like work at height, asbestos and what have you. So we've got guides and templates, and do presentations, lots of different things. One of those is supporting you with eRAMS. So what I want to do now is just spend a little while showing you the new eRAMS signatures feature. So this is the latest addition to the eRAMS software, which is the free to use risk assessment software that members can access via the website. It's very popular, a lot of members use it. And I'll share my screen and start going through that with you. Just let me give you a minute for that to load up so you can see the landing page for eRAMS. One of the great things about the software, and more broadly, I suppose, about ECA is a lot of the work we do is driven by you, the members. So the developments and improvements for ECA eRAMS are really led by you, and this latest one is no exception. So a lot of members said they would really like to have a signatures features for eRAM. We've developed it and launched it, and it's proving very popular. So I'll just talk you through how it works, and so you can see that, and then you clearly you can have a go yourself and see how you get on with it if you don't use it already. So the starting point specifically for the signatures feature is My Settings. So on the top left-hand side here, if I click on My Settings, this opens up all the different options under My Settings. So this is where within eRAMS you go to set the system up for the first time. You might be adding logos and various other things. We're specifically thinking about the signatures features today. So to access this, the main part of that in terms of the operatives, we click on the User Management tab. That opens Manage Authors, Manage Operatives. For the signatures, we want to look at managing our operatives. So if we click on that, you can see here there are a number of test emails that we've already put into the system that have been added, and it's very easy to add a new one. The first time you use this feature, there will be no names or emails here, and you can simply go on this blue button here on the right hand side, click on add operative, you add the name and you add the email. That then appears in the list. What that then does is create a list of operatives that when you come to having completed the RAMS and you want to send it for signature, those names will appear for you to select from. You can also add names and emails at the time once you reach that part of the process, but this speeds things up a bit for you. The other point to mention is that this toggle switch here, you can switch to yes or no. If it's switched to yes, if you subsequently add a name and a signature request email at the end of the process, just before you send them off, it will automatically save that name and that email and add that to the list that you see here in front of you. So that's the first thing to know about in terms of the signatures feature. The next is actually within the risk assessment itself. So I'll open this risk assessment here, which I've prepared for this demonstration. And I've already filled in a lot of the fields. And you can see here on the first section, on the right-hand side, there's a toggle yes/no switch, which asks if you want to collect electronic operative signatures. I've switched it to yes, so you'll see it appears here on the drop down on the My Settings drop down menu. If I switch that to no, you'll see it disappears on the left side. So, but we want to ask for signatures, so I'm selecting that to yes. If I now go to operative signatures, it'll ask me to save any changes, but then it will ask me to sign the method statement. So any RAMs that you send to an operative, incidentally, it says operatives, but you can send it to anyone, a third party, a subcontractor, a client even. We have to sign it first. So the signing process is at the end, and I'm just scrolling down on the left-hand side here, of the RAMs, the method statement part of the RAMs. This is the last part, and it's just a bit quicker doing it that way because it takes me directly to this part of the process. So I finish my RAMs, I'm signing it off as the author. So I select my name, I save it, and that RAMs is now signed. I can now move to the operative signatures section. You'll see on the landing page for operative signatures, there are 3 colors here, and when I request a signature, there'll be a line appearing below, and it will be green, red, or yellow. So the options are to send the RAMs from within the software using this blue button, or to copy a link to the RAMs. So you can copy a link to the clipboard. You can then paste that link into, say, a WhatsApp or another message if you don't want to use an email, or the person receiving it uses a different process. That will be logged here at the bottom, and you'll see how that works in a minute. But what you won't see is the request within the software, because of course it wasn't generated via the software. So I'll do a very simple example to show you how it works. So I click on the blue button here, add signature request, and you'll see that the pre-populated set of names and emails appears here. I'll select my own because that just speeds the process up for me in terms of the demonstration. If I wanted to add others, I could add the person's name and address here. I click on Save Selected. As soon as I click, that generates an email with a link to the attached RAMs, which is sent to this email address. So I'll Save Selected. I've done that. And you'll see now in the bottom, just below the black header, in red, I think it is, and I'm colorblind, so I find it hard to distinguish the letters. So that's why I was hesitating, the colors. So you can see it's request not actioned. So there's my name, there's my email and the date, but it hasn't been responded to as yet. What I'm going to do now is quickly go into my email. So I don't know if you can actually see that here, but I've received an email and I'm clicking on the link in the email. I'm clicking on a button which says Sign RAMs. I'm filling in my details. So I have to fill in my name, my email, and my company. I click the green Sign button, and that is then auto-saved. If I go back now to the ERAM screen, and I will need to just refresh this screen, you'll see that the software has picked up the email response here, who signed it, when it was signed, and who requested the signature. So that part of the process is now complete, and it's really that simple. So all the people that under the add signature request that you send the RAMs out to, once they've clicked on the email, clicked on the link in the email and responded to say that they've signed it electronically, the system updates here. The other really neat thing is if I go back to the ERAM's landing page, you'll see that there's a little green star here. As I only sent it to myself, all the people I sent the RAMs to have responded to say that actually they've seen and accepted it. So this little star turns green. So what this allows you to do, just at a glance, is see which RAMs have been sent and received. So if I, for example, open this one, you'll see that this one hasn't been signed. This has been signed by the author, but it hasn't been sent to anyone for them to respond, or it's been sent and not everybody has responded. So it gives you a very quick overview to say which ones have been sent and received and are completed. So that's quite neat. The only other thing to show you about ERAMs is what happens on the PDF. So if I open this RAM and I export it, what I'm doing is generating a PDF version of the ERAMs. That's now appeared. I'm going to drag it up into the screen here, and hopefully you can see that. Kat, can I just ask, can you see the PDF? I've just dragged it up from a different screen.
We can't, unfortunately.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll stop sharing, and what I'll share, instead of sharing the ERAM screen, I'll share a picture of the PDF instead. He said, trying to find a picture of the PDF, which hasn't come up yet. Sorry about this. I do apologize. I've not used this software before, and I'm not used to where to find it. No, I'm sorry, I can't show you that at the moment. But I can talk you through it. What happens is, as part of the RAMs, when you create the PDF, there's a signature sheet at the end of the RAMs, which is added, although you don't see that when you're creating the RAMs. And every signature that has been signed appears on that particular page in the PDF. So it's quite neat. It's dead easy for you to have a go and to practice and see for yourself what it looks like anyway once you create the PDF. But my technological skills are not good enough for finding the PDF. I'm sorry about that. And that is pretty much it. That's how you create signatures, send requests, people sign the RAMs via an email and respond. Quite straightforward. It's only literally taken me 10 minutes to show you that new feature, which I think is fantastic. And be happy to answer any questions if you have any questions that you want to put in the chat, or Kat, if you can see any questions, then I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you very much for that, Paul. We haven't got any questions at the moment. Yeah, for that PDF, we can send out to all of the attendees an example of the PDF so you can see what that looked like. If anyone does have any questions, please feel free to ask them. But thank you, Paul. That was really clear. I think that's a really good overview of the new feature.
Yeah, it's a fantastic feature. It's really popular. People really like it.
Just give it a couple of minutes for any questions, but that's a good sign if there aren't any. And of course, you can always get in contact with us if you think of anything.
Absolutely. You can get in touch with me or your regional manager. Any one of us will be able to help answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions come in. So how do operatives sign in email? So I guess that's how do they sign?
Okay, so the email is received by them. There is a link in the email. They open the link and you can view the RAMs, and on the left hand side there's a button to say sign, which you click. Once that's clicked, it generates the response email and is recorded in the RAMs. So it's not actually writing a signature or having to put any text in. It's simply clicking a button. So that's the way it
Thank you.
works. It's quite straightforward. So it's not a digital signature, which is different. A digital signature is an authenticated third-party signature by perhaps used for contractual documents with legal process and what have you. This is an in-software electronic signature, which makes it a lot quicker and a lot easier to use.
We just have a comment that from someone saying they've just done a trial for this on a sample RAMS and it worked well. So there we go.
Oh, that's great to hear. And if any of you do need a more detailed demo or for me to talk through it, I'm happy to do that. If you liaise with your regional manager, we can set something up on Teams and we can go in through in more detail and look at RAMS and look at the way it's used. We also run workshops as well. So this is more for the legal framework around risk assessment and what good looks like. So, so best practice in terms of how to develop a good RAMS, particularly method statements. Some people are struggling with what should be in a method statement and how that should look. So again, if that's something that's of interest to you, speak to your regional manager and we can follow that up. Well, the way we work with that is we tend to do case studies and go through practical examples. And it's great for members because they learn as much from each other going through that process. We're in a face-to-face context as learning from me talking.
Got a couple more questions. So did you mention the RAMs can be sent to others via WhatsApp? So can you just talk about how people can send them via WhatsApp?
Yeah, sure. So what you do is copy the link to the clipboard and then you paste the link into any medium that you like. So if you wanted it to paste it into WhatsApp and send it, you can do that. The person will receive that, they'll click on it, and the device will show the RAMs, which they can view and then respond. And the software will pick up the response. What it won't do is show that it was sent via the software because it's not being sent via the software, if that makes sense. So you saw the green and red line that came up when I sent one to myself. The first bit of that won't appear, but the response will appear. And it'll be in yellow to signify that it was from a link rather than from within the software. So pretty neat, eh? I think it's cool. I am a bit of a risk assessment geek, but I like it.
Someone else says, fantastic function just used. That's good.
Excellent. That's great.
Thank you, Paul, for your time. Game changer. So that's really good. And obviously, if anyone does have any thoughts about eRAMS, this came from members, this new feature. So any others, feel free to tell us about them. We'll see what we can do.
And also, I mean, one of the best ways of promoting what we do is testimonials by members. So it's a lot more powerful if we get commendations and testimonials from you as members rather than us saying how good the software is. So I'm sure Kat would be more than happy to receive any testimonials if you use it and you want to promote it. One of the challenges we have at ECA is we do so much and offer so much, and members don't always know what there is available to them for free or for very little cost. So because you're all busy people, you have lots of other things to do. So it's a great way to promote what is a feature of eRAMS is a feature of ECA membership that is free.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we haven't got any more questions coming in.
Okay.
So if you've got nothing else to add to that, Paul, I think we'll end.
I haven't. No. Thank you for your time, and it's been useful, and I hope you were able to get some benefit from the process. Do any feedback from this comes to you, Kat? Does it, or if people do want to feedback,
yes,
or have other questions?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they can do that after we close the call.
Yep. Just contact us in any of the usual ways, and it'll get to us, or via the emails that you get sent for signing up to the webinar.
There you go. Thanks, folks. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Bye.